I'm thankful. Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. I am just getting out of work and I am on my way home. The weather is terrible. It's warm, but it's pouring rain. And one of the things that I love about the rain and will always respect about the rain is that it is cleansing. It is cleansing to the earth. And reminds me of the state of the breakup. You know, all of those tears, even though I felt like he wasn't worth it, I just, because I feel like and felt like any of my resources were pivotal and at the utmost importance, and I felt like I spent enough of my resources, used enough of my resources on him. I felt like, he wasn't worth it. And as much as I felt that way, and it probably has some truth to it, it was still necessary. I needed to cleanse those emotions, and I needed to flush all of that was pent up and backed up. I needed to do that. And I wanted to have a conversation with y'all, and just this road is rocky, so bear with me. This bridge is rocky. I just wanted to congratulate you on any point of the healing that you have reached, no matter what point it's at. As long as there's some form of progress, some form of moving forward. But I was thinking about that too, because I have one of my dearest friends is also a therapist, and she was explaining the 5 steps of grief to me during my process when I was in the thick of it. And sheesh, I'm almost done going across this bridge. But you know what I wanted to know? Because there is 5 stages of grief. What happens when those 5 stages are completed? Or is there like a time? Is there a time limit? Is there a time frame or a cap on grief? Because at the time when she told me I completed the 5 stages of grief and I should be fine, I knew that I was not finished grieving. And I got a little frustrated because my first thought was, am I giving this too much power? Am I giving him still some form of control if I continue to allow myself to grieve, right? And I still really don't even have the answer to that. But I can say that in grieving freely, without putting any restrictions on my grieving, I think I'm better off for it. And this is why I don't suggest that when you go to grieving, or when you're grieving in any type of way, that you go the textbook route. With no disrespect to therapist because I'm not a therapist. I didn't go to school. I don't know the criteria, or I don't know how much is too much, but I know for me, I needed to continue the process on, and I also needed to not feel judged for doing it. And I'm talking about to myself, because we're our own worst critics. I needed to not worry about my I just needed to be able to do it completely and freely so I can get it over with. And I did that. And I'm thankful for that. And so maybe, perhaps, sometimes, he, Judas, may be the topic from this point out. But he won't be the main topic. There's so many lessons, so many things I've learned in my grieving process and during this breakup. Yeah, there's so many things that I learned, and I am.
You have zip code
now? Yeah, and so many things I've learned, and I'm glad I got to share it with you guys. Excuse me, I am still in the process of getting myself together for my drive home. I'm glad I got to share it with you guys, and I hope that in sharing it, you learn, if you haven't, patience with yourself. Yeah, I'm working on getting rid of this, baby. I'm working on getting rid of this. Yes, I am self-conscious about it. But I'm working on it. I'm just not gonna not do anything about it. I'm working on it. Because it's all a part of the healing process to be my best self in my maturity at the age that I am now, to not allow life's experiences to weigh me down, to cause me so much inconvenience or discomfort that I get comfortable in settling into unhappy spaces, because the unhappy spaces.
Need a seat?
No. Thank you. You too. Those unhappy spaces, they tend to creep in when you're going through some shit. You may not necessarily be aware at the time, because your mind, rightfully so, is more focused on whatever it is that you're going through, or whatever it is you have your keen focus on. Because it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going through something bad. It just means that, whatever you have your primary focus on at the time is the priority, and it probably supersedes other areas. Life is like that sometimes. Double dutch, as I like to call it. And well, even with that being said, we find comfort in different places, spaces, people, things that are not necessarily healthy, or it's keeping the scales in balance in a way that you're doing good in one particular area, you're doing great in one particular area, and in another area you're not doing so great. I.e., I'm going to use myself as an example. I have severely focused my life on work. Yes, I had some playtime. But a huge portion of my life was focused on work. It was my escapism for missing him, for any type of stress that I felt myself enduring. I would dive into work, and I used that as an outlet. In the process, I really didn't have a choice because my job is very demanding. Overtime is very demanding and very high, and it has been like that. Wow. It has been like that, I would like to say, honestly, for the last probably 7 years at my job, 6 to 7 years at my job. But even before that, we had bouts of overtime where it would get, very difficult. But you're doing well in one area, in my career, and I'm making the money. And I, at the time, was feeling that I was relieving some type of stress, especially financial stress. And I felt like, I was doing what I needed to do to be a productive parent and to be a productive member in my family, because, he wasn't there and I had to make up an income, and I'm growing, as a woman. So this means, maturing and, just life, I guess, just life. And my work played a very intricate part on what I thought was not just survival, but of me managing stress. And so the imbalance of the scales came in was because my health was, well, no, I don't want to say my health was slipping, but my weight gain, because I was working so much that my diet became poor. I had really hardly ever no time to really cook. I wasn't cooking that much. Thank goodness I had family members that was able to help me with the raising of my children. So they made sure that, my children got nourished meals. But as for me, I was basically in it on my own, and rightfully so. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying that my diet became poor. My sleeping patterns became poor. And well, I wasn't managing my stress very well. Okay. Not as well as I thought I was. And so years later, here I am. Here I am with this muffin top. Now, I definitely understand that, while we're going through life, our body also changes. And so I am not looking to go back to be in a particular way or a particular weight, but I just want to be able to be healthier and manage myself better. And I am trying to find a way to do that now. And the reason why I'm saying I'm trying is because overtime is still very, very difficult. A lot. It is extremely a lot. I still have minimal time for myself. My sleeping is still poor. My eating habits have improved minimally, and I'm saying that because I've learned to food prep, and so I cook twice a week for the 5 days that I work, or the 4 days that I work. I cook twice a week for myself and for my children. And so I'm not eating out, I'm not grabbing things, I'm not eating to go, but The times that I eat play a major factor because I work evenings tonight. And this is all a part of multitasking and adulting in a single parent home. And so the days that I do have off, I've begun implementing workouts. I do take my vitamins daily, and I am just trying to completely heal. And so my new challenge, honestly, is asking myself, am I completely healing? Am I even working on healing the right way? Um, Staying at this job. Because it has definitely provided a means of income for me so that I'm able to take care of my family and I'm able to financially have our needs met. But once again, the scales are imbalanced because my personal needs aren't being met, and I feel like I'm sacrificing myself. Ironically, I feel that way now and didn't feel like I was sacrificing myself then at the time in the relationship. But you know, you live and you learn. You live and you learn. And this isn't the first time I thought about it. I continue to face this challenge because it has been weighing on me heavily. And so in order to manage the stress of facing this challenge, in order to continue my healing process minus his ass, or minus him as a topic, I am trying to implement different ways of healing, of managing my stress. And so I am changing my diet. I am implementing exercise again because some of us have been friends for a very long time, so you know that I've always been a gymaholic also. But that was, you know, at a different time in my life when I had the time to do so. Right now I don't have the time to do so, and that scares me because we all know that stress is a silent killer, that stress kills. And it starts with the aforementioned ways of living: poor sleeping habits, overworked, poor dieting, poor eating habits. You know, that's where it starts. And so I'm trying to configure now, where am I in my life, and what is it that I want to do to continue on this journey of healing. Because I just think that the breakup catapulted me into my spiritual journey more than ever. And I guess I had to become like my own red flag to be able to look at myself and be honest and say, listen, I know that you're doing this for everyone else, but you are totally neglecting yourself. And you're totally putting other people before you're putting yourself. And at this rate, if you keep going at this rate, you're going to cause more harm than good. And so you might want to rethink what you're doing. You know, you want other things outside of yourself, outside of myself. I know I'm speaking in third party terms, but I'm speaking to you in a way that I was speaking to myself in my head in the process recently of this breakup. You want more